the last time I interviewed him, he came on and I popped up on the screen, and I'd met him 3 or 4 times before, pitch-side desks in person. And he went, Ted Lasso, the star of Ted Lasso. Oh, I love this show. It's great. My wife said you got to watch it, And it was like, oh my God. So I don't know whether the Lasso people are going to connect with Jurgen at some point. I don't know, but that would be awesome, wouldn't it? In a future episode, if Jurgen made a cameo,
cool,
it'd be
Klopp.
Absolutely fabulous. Yeah,
Jurgen's just better. Hey everyone, welcome on into Drinks with Binks. I'm Julie Stewart-Binks. This is the show that sips and sits with some of the biggest names in sports, entertainment, and media over a beverage of their choice. And for today's guest, we know that British people like to drink. It's just like, it's a fact. And that's why I'm wearing this ring right now, too. It's just, I'm super, super British, Commonwealth, Canada. We have this connection, which is probably why I also have a drinking show. It's just sort of like in the genes. But we know that this is a thing. And we also know that we can connect with anyone really around the world right now during the pandemic because we are staying home to stay safe. And so that gives us the opportunity to be able to talk with one of my friends. You know him from NBC Sports, lead soccer/football commentator, and also has a cameo in the award-winning TV show Ted Lasso, none other than Arlo White. Arlo, thanks so much for joining us today, all the way from good old Blighty, where it is nighttime there, and it is afternoon here. How are you holding up?
I'm doing okay, JSB. Lovely to talk to you, and great research on the Brits like to drink line. Yes, you are absolutely correct. You've met enough of us to know this, obviously.
Yeah, actually, Arlo, I lived in London when I did my master's at the University of London, and I will never forget seeing grown men in suits just spewing out of bars, spewing their guts out onto the streets. So at like 6 p.m. in the afternoon, it was just great, the good old days.
Well, I always make sure I'm out of my work gear by then. By the time it gets that messy. I've always changed.
We're just trying to figure out a way to be able to get some sort of normalcy back, whatever that looks like in the future. But for the time being, we're still able to drink. And what do we have today on the show that we're drinking? I
was going to get a nice frothy pint of real ale served at room temperature to celebrate your time doing your masters in London. Then I realised I'd run out. so I've got a nice, a typically British/Argentine Malbec this evening, JSB.
Awesome. Okay, I joined you as well because I always drink what my guests drink. So
cheers.
Cheers to you, Arlo. And also, before you go ahead and, he is British. He's going right for it. What do you want to toast to today?
I'd like to toast to post-Atlantic communications and the ability for us to catch up again after all this time and have a nice conversation. This has been as close to a night out as I've had for 6 months. So cheers.
Well, same for me. So that's sad for both of us. Cheers. Great to see you, Arlo.
You too. Second sip was even nicer. Yeah.
That's quite nice. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. where you are right now. It is 3 p.m. here. So on a Monday, very problematic drinking. But this is a television show, which my boss has greenlit. So that means it is A-okay. Speaking of television shows, gotta go to where the meat of it is. You were in you're in Ted Lasso, which is like one of the greatest shows that we have seen during this last year. Such a feel-good show. It has caught fire like all over. When you did this show, as you play yourself, you do have a cameo in this. Did you ever think it would take off the way it has?
I had a feeling. We did, I don't know whether you remember, but a couple of years ago, or maybe longer than that, 5 or 6 years ago, Jason Sudeikis came in with the character Ted Lasso, and we did a couple of promos for the NBC Premier League coverage. And at the time, Rebecca Lowe and I just thought it was the funniest working experience we'd ever had. We didn't really know what to expect. And we were fed a couple of lines, and then Jason, as Ted, would ad-lib or read some of the lines that he pre-prepared. And it was the hardest thing in the world to even maintain a modicum of professionalism, because some of the stuff that was coming out was just hilarious. And I always thought that, there might be some legs to this. But the character, I think, had to be developed from the sort of hapless American who doesn't know much about soccer. So when they got in touch with me. And there's a chap called Brendan Hunt who plays Coach Beard, and he and Jason go way back. They're comedy partners and have been for years. They used to do improv together in Chicago and then in Amsterdam together. And they said, well, we're doing this show, we've developed it into a character. Would you like to be in it? I'm like, yeah. Then they told me I got paid for doing it. I was like, well, that's even better, because I would have done it for free. But that's not a great negotiating position. I know that. The agent wasn't happy with that. But anyway, and they came across, and I didn't know much about it at the time, but Crystal Palace, the Premier League club, their home ground is Selhurst Park, but that's AFC Richmond's home ground, aka they are the Greyhounds, and it's called the Dog Track. So they came and they saw me in the parking lot outside, and I said to Jason, look, obviously it needs a bit more than that joke. He said, yeah, we've fleshed the character out a little bit for this. And I know that Jason and Brendan, anything that they're involved in would just be fantastic. Was I surprised it was that good? No disrespect to them, a little, because it's absolutely brilliant, and it's just wonderful to be a small part of it.
In that, what do Brits think about this? Are they offended that an American football coach would be able to do this and, this la-di-da-di-da, la-la land?
No, not at all. I think it's been a slower burner on this side of the Atlantic because it's on Apple TV. Not everyone instantly has it. So, if it were... Well, there are other streaming services available, aren't there? Obviously, but we're on one now, which is fabulous. Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of, I've watched it catch fire slowly. It's been a slow burner. And then you get certain influencers that have watched it and rave about it. So over here, when you're looking at, who's got the largest Twitter followings amongst the football people, Gary Lineker, former England striker, who's like the face of BBC football over here, from my hometown of Leicester, by the way. And he said at the start of lockdown, my God, I just watched this show, Ted Lasso. It's absolutely amazing. So it's caught on slowly like that. So people now, I'm getting messages most days, oh my God, you're in Ted Lasso. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like a year ago now. We've started filming the second season, so it's been interesting to watch it slowly catch on, and it's kind of taken on a life of its own. But I've not been in a TV show before, JSB, so it's all completely new to me. But it's unusual that a show would have such universal appeal. There aren't many people that have said they've watched it and hated it, which is quite nice. It just feels like it was the right show at the right time.
Exactly. Universal appeal because it goes right to the core of the psychology of people, right? We want something feel good during a very difficult time, something that almost wouldn't ever happen, but it's nice to see that story unfold. We want to get to, a question about the future, maybe, of Ted Lasso. You said you're filming season 2 right now. When we return, we got to take a quick time out here on Drinks with Binks. Don't go anywhere. We have Arlo White from NBC Sports. We are drinking and binking.
Hi, I'm Benny Fellhaber, and I just finished my Drinks with Binks.
Well, going back to Drinks with Binks, I'm JSB. We have Arlo White here from NBC Sports, as well as Ted Lasso, where he has a cameo as himself, a soccer commentator. We just mentioned that you filmed season 2 already. What can we expect without you giving away too much where you then are in trouble?
I wish I was important enough to be given all the scripts, JSB, but I got my little commentary lines and went down to London to a football club called Hayes and Yedding, and sat there with Chris Powell, who used to play for England, who's my co-commentator. But Chris is also the football coordinator, so he's doubling up. And I thought the football scenes in it, the live action scenes, were fantastic. So I've done a day's filming. I think there might be another one in the pipeline, and hopefully it'll be different to season 1 when everything went into lockdown, and I ended up having to do all the post-production. So and a lot of it was completely rewritten, and I did most of it in this room under a blanket with a microphone they'd sent to me, and we had to divide all the individual lines up into about 100 WhatsApp messages that then had to be WhatsApped over to LA. Look, it gave me something to do, JSB, which at the time I was very grateful for. But it'll be nice if I can just go to a nice warm studio and be pampered for season 2.
Yeah, well, that's all you want. That's all any actor really wants, is just to be taken care of. You're talent now. So that's actually the baseline. But I will say, if you are calling the games and you know the script of the games, you will know certain players and how the results are. I'm just saying. So
I do know. I do know a couple of things.
Maybe Jamie Tart might make an appearance back again.
Well, I do know either way. Yeah.
You do know either way. Okay, so we'll keep drinking. Maybe we'll figure that out later. Okay, let's get to some actual football. I'm not going to say football because we have the real Brit here on. And my boyfriend just decided to become an Everton fan because he is becoming a soccer fan without me telling him to. He just decided to. And he did all those tests online that told him to be a Liverpool fan, but he was like, I don't want to go for I don't want to just be like, oh, I'm cheering for the Yankees now or something. So he decided to go the other way. And now he hates his life because Everton just is abysmal. But what would you say to Americans who are now like, ooh, soccer's cool?
Yeah.
What would you say is like the top 3 clubs that you would suggest they should cheer for that aren't just like the big names?
This is a tough one because I think had he chosen a year earlier, he'd have got away with it. Because at the time, Liverpool hadn't won the title for 30 years. They won the Champions League, but they hadn't won the Premier League title. So you could not have accused him of bandwagon jumping at that point. Going in with
Everton,
last
year I would have, yeah.
Yeah, even last year. Going in with Everton is a bold move and one that's destined to cause great pain and disillusionment over the next few years. They haven't won a trophy since 1995. So I'm going to think outside the box here. But here's the things you have to consider: that it's not like the NFL, it's not like Major League Baseball or the NBA where you got this free agency salary caps and you get different winners each year. It's not like that. The richer clubs tend to dominate. So at the moment it's Man City, it's Chelsea, Man United are up there, Liverpool are up there, Tottenham there or thereabouts, Arsenal will be back at some point. So they're called the Big Six. I've got no problem with anyone choosing any of those teams because you're guaranteed to watch them every season. If you go below that, a team could have an absolute shocker, disappear with relegation through the trapdoor, and then you're searching the channels trying to find where the championship is, and that's not great.
True.
So there has to be someone who I think is going to be established in the Premier League and maybe challenge and have some good days. So look, I'm from Leicester, as I've mentioned before. Leicester City won the title at 5,000 to 1 odds. It was incredible in 2016. Now, many people thought they would win that and then go away again. They haven't. They've got substantial investment, although there's not an Emirati state like Dubai or Abu Dhabi that's behind them, but they do okay and they're well run. So I'd say Leicester City would be one. Leeds United are another one. They went down, they disappeared for 16 years, they had terrible trouble. They're a big city by our standards, and they've got, when the crowds come back, they'll have 42,000, loudest stadium in the country, and they're playing great football. So Leeds United, quite a trendy pick at the moment. And then, beneath that, I like Wolverhampton Wanderers. They run out to Led Zeppelin. Robert Plant, and I'm not sure if this is target audience, but Robert Plant is a huge Wolverhampton Wanderers fan. So there's a real sort of Led Zepp vibe, real rock vibe to Wolves games. And they're really good to watch. They're clubs that I think will hang around in the Premier League for a substantial period of time and may cause the odd upset here and there. But you've got to remember that the Big Six win most of the stuff.
Yeah, it's very true. You don't want to pick a club that then's relegated and you're like, oh, I can't watch them at all ever again. And then you've already picked them and then they get maybe relegated even further down the rung.
Exactly.
But I like those picks. We got Leicester City, Leeds United, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. There's too many Wolves, too many W's in there. But there's a lot of rock. And had I known that, I'm an Arsenal supporter. I lived right near Emirates. That was how I became it. It was like, well, that's just like how you become a fan
that's
of it.
fine. You lived in the catchment area. That's perfectly fine.
We have seen this year, just recently, Arsenal legend Thierry Henry saying that he's leaving social media. He had a post saying just because of the the racial abuse, the online bullying, like we've seen it. It's awful. It's the vitriol spewed, especially a number of Premier League players have had that happen to them. Do you think that this is the first of maybe many to come that are going to leave sort of this platform? Yeah.
And I'm all for it. I think Chrissy Teigen as well, for her reasons, has done something similar on Twitter. Not a week goes by, despite players kneeling before kickoffs, which I think remains a very powerful image. Although a lot of black players in the game over here, Wilfried Zaha for one, is starting to doubt whether that still has the same impact as it had before. So now he started to stand at that moment because it's standing out from everybody kneeling down. So I think it's an ever evolving situation, and I feel that if as a black person, as a black sports person, as a show of solidarity for everybody else and an attempt to get the authorities behind these websites to call for more accountability and to stop this level of abuse and vitriol and bile that is spewed out towards black players. I'm all for it. Absolutely all for it. And again, I don't know what possesses people if they feel that a player's had a bad game. What possesses people to question them on the basis of the colour of their skin when a week later, if a black player on their team scores the winning goal, they're a hero, and it's not even mentioned. It's disgusting. It's despicable. And yeah, fully support Thierry Henry, and we'll have to see how everything else develops in terms of players taking a knee before a game. But I'd support anything that guys that are directly affected by it, anything that they feel is appropriate, I'd absolutely support.
There definitely needs to be more accountability from these platforms. I liken it to just like these trolls and these really awful people that say this stuff. They're like zombies running around, and we're just like allowing them to do whatever they want. Like, no, like this has to end. This has to stop. It's very quickly, JSB. Somebody came up with a very simple idea today that unless you give your ID, your name, your address, your phone number, all you can do is scroll. You can't contribute. If you want to contribute, be accountable, give your details, and if you break the laws, I mean, there's a big debate about free speech at the moment. Everyone's for free speech, but with responsibility. It doesn't give you the license to go out and completely abuse people. So if you want to join the conversation, be adult about it, give all your details, and if you break the law, then you're out. Yeah, and then your boss and everyone will know that you are a jerk. So I agree with that statement as well. Okay, we have a whole lot more we want to get to with Arlo White. We are on Drinks with Binks, sipping a little Malbec here on this wonderful Monday. We know you're watching this on a Wednesday or whenever, but we'll be back after this. Hey guys, welcome on back to Drinks with Binks. I'm JSB. We've got Arlo White here, and we're going to play a game called VAR-LO. Wow, what a name. Where I am going to say a statement, and if Arlo agrees with it, he'll just say, play on, and why, just a quick little why. But if he does not agree with it, and we need to go to review, he's going to make the box, the little TV box, and then say why he doesn't agree. Kind of like, VAR. Sort of, in a way. All right.
And we all love VAR.
We love VAR. We're a big VAR show. Okay, numero uno. Leicester City will beat Manchester City on Saturday.
Play on. This will happen. It's guaranteed. 4-0. Check complete. Come on, play on.
Let's just get this one going. We can't, no stoppage. Okay, my favorite manager to interact with is Jose Mourinho.
Right. And maybe not for the reasons that you maybe think. In person, he is utterly charming. He's fabulous. He's just not quite as wonderful as Jurgen Klopp.
Oh, yes. Jurgen Klopp. Wow. He's the best, isn't he?
I bought glasses the same as his, just to try and be a little bit like him. And that's, I fanboy over him a little bit, yes.
Just objectively, Jurgen Klopp is the best.
He has a presence when he walks into a room, JSB, that you hear that said about people with incredible levels of charisma. He just has it. A room literally lights up when he walks into it. It's not anything he does. He's not particularly. Well, he is quite loud, but he's not deliberately loud to be dominant. He's just who he is, and he engages with it. And you'll understand this as an interviewer, that he listens to what you say and he gives you great value. And what I would say, the last time I interviewed him, he came on and I popped up on the screen, and I met him 3 or 4 times before, pitchside desks in person, and he went, Ted Lasso, the star of Ted Lasso. Oh, I love this show. It's great. My wife said you got to watch it, and it was like, oh my God. So I don't know whether the Lasso people are going to connect with Jurgen at some point. I don't know, but that would be awesome, wouldn't it? In a future episode, if Jurgen made a cameo,
cool,
it'd be absolutely fabulous. Yeah. So that's the only reason why Jose doesn't get it, because Jurgen is just a bit nicer.
Jurgen's just better. Nothing against Jose. Wow, I love hearing that story about Jurgen Klopp. Okay, a little bit different here, different type of football. Chicago Bears fans should feel good about new quarterback Andy Dalton.
Oh, God, I really want to say but no. I mean, look, ginger solidarity,
Yes, yeah. When you're own.
We have no souls, apparently, but I hope it works out. I know he's a serviceable quarterback, NFL quarterback. We're still paying for the whole Trubisky drafting up, missing out on Patrick and Deshaun. Were they going to get Russell Wilson from Seattle? No. It's meh.
Well, I mean, it sounds pretty good after, you just recapped how bad the Bears have been for a while. And I know and for anyone who doesn't know, Arlo is a massive Chicago American sports fan, which is
first game in 1986 in person, yeah.
Wow, okay. That was before I was born. One more question here. When I did my master's in England, Sky Sports told me I should change my accent if I wanted to cover football in the UK. Did I make an absolutely horrid mistake by not taking their advice?
Did you make a horrid mistake by not taking their advice? I can't work out whether I'm supposed to. Did
I do a couple different double negatives? Did I make the right? I made the right choice by not doing this British.
Yes, you certainly made the right choice not doing that British accent, but you could have perfected it down the years, couldn't you? But no, you've got to stay true to yourself. So if play on is the right thing there, check complete, play on.
Play on. Keep this little Canadian-American thing going.
Without a doubt.
Going strong.
Without a shadow of a doubt, absolutely.
Because I can do a little bit of Welcome to Sky Sports. It is a great day. It is a great day at the weekend for Manchester City taking on Manchester United. What a derby! So much at stake.
That's good. That is
kind of like where would I be from?
I would. Well, you'd kind of be south. You'd be sort of North London, which is perfect. Yeah. Well, you're North London, which is where you spent your time. So that geographically, that accent was remarkably correct. Right. Spot on.
I'm going to put that one on the old demo reel. Yes. I'm going to put that one on the old demo reel for when they come calling for me for me to fill in for the Brits. That won't be happening. This has been VAR-LO, and I have absolutely enjoyed it because it has been a lot of fun. We have to take a quick time out. Now I'm Canadian. I just said we have to take a quick time out. We'll be back with a whole lot more Drinking and Binkin' with Arlo White. Subscribe to the Fubo Sports YouTube page for clips and full episodes. Follow us at Fubo Sports on all social media channels. Also available in podcast form wherever you find your favorite pods. Well, guys, we've had an awesome time drinking and binking here with Arlo White from NBC Sports and, of course, Ted Lasso. Arlo, where can we find you next?
Cheers. It's been a lot of fun. So on Saturday, NBCSN, 3 p.m. Eastern, it's your team Arsenal against the team your boyfriend should have supported, which is Liverpool. And then on Sunday, 11:30 a.m., NBCSN, that's Eastern time, and it's Manchester United against Brighton. So looking forward to that. And if you want to get me on social media, it's at Arlo White on Twitter. Just be nice. And at Arlo W on Instagram.
Yes, and also you can catch him in the award-winning show, Ted Lasso. He's incredible. He uses this weird microphone that never seen before. It kind of is odd, but I guess it's British, right?
It's British because we sit outside. We don't have these hermetically sealed booths, JSB, that we sit in. So we're often amongst the crowd, and it blocks all the sound and all the fruity language coming into the back of the microphone.
Yes, yeah. You don't have all of the big guys without their shirts on yelling like lots and lots of bad things into your microphone, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's also got to be very weird for you calling games without seeing these hooligans and shenanigans going on around you. So
the hooliganism isn't as bad, but I do miss a lot of the rowdiness. Definitely.
Yes, the rowdiness.
Let's get the fans back and get the songs going.
Yes, it sounds like there will be fans coming back soon, FA Cup, and we will see beyond that. But Arlo, thank you so much again for joining us. And guys, if you want to see some more Drinks with Binks episodes, you know where to find us on YouTube at Fubo Sports. And also, make sure you check out the Cooligans. They've got more soccer content as well. So if you like soccer, that's where you want to go and see all that. We've got it all at Fubo Sports. And until next time, bottoms up, bitches.